Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. So continuing with our discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 17, Victory of Hiranyaksha over all the directions of the universe. Text number 19 onwards. Chakre Hiranyakashipur Durbhyam Brahmavarena cha Vashesapala Lokan Trin Kuto Mrityuruddhata. The elder child Hiranyakashipu was unafraid of death from anyone within the three worlds because he received a benediction from Lord Brahma. He was proud and puffed up due to his benediction and was able to bring all three planetary systems under his control. As will be revealed in later chapters, Hiranyakashipu underwent severe austerity and penance to satisfy Brahma and thus received benediction of immortality. Actually, it is impossible. Oh, I think we covered this one.
We did not cover the text 26 onwards. How to start?
26.
Yes, we'll have to start.
Okay. Really? I did this Varuna one, huh? Okay, let's do 25 onwards.
Yes, this 25 solution.
तस्मिन् प्रविष्टे वरुणस्य सैनिका यादो गणसन्निधया ससाध्वसा अहन्यमानापि तस्य वर्चसा प्रदर्शिता दूरतरं प्रदुद्रवुः. On his entering the ocean, the aquatic animals who formed the host of Varuna were stricken with fear and ran far away. Thus Hiranyaksha showed his splendor without dealing a blow. Materialistic demons sometimes appear to be very powerful and are seen to establish their supremacy throughout the world. Here also it appears that Hiranyaksha, by his demonic strength, actually established his supremacy throughout the universe, and the demigods were afraid of his uncommon power. Not only were the demigods in space afraid of the demons, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, but so also were the aquatic animals within the sea. So he thought he has controlled or won over everything else. Now he wanted to go under sea and win that place also. So he entered the sea. Entered the sea is not like just, oh, he is going to swim around. No, he went with his mace and he wanted to challenge Varuna while in the sea. And all the aquatic animals, they ran away because of the fear, or they swam away because of the fear of Hiranyaksha. Text 26. So Varshapuganu Dadho Mahabala Charan Mahor Min Chavasneritan Muhu Morvya Bhijagde Gadya Vibhavari Ase Devanstat Purim Prachetasaha. Moving about in the ocean for many, many years, the mighty Hiranyaksha smote the gigantic wind-tossed waves again and again with his iron mace and reached Vibhavari, the capital of Varuna. Varuna is supposed to be the predominating deity of the waters, and his capital, which is known as Vibhavari, is within the watery kingdom. So he was moving about in the ocean for many, many years. Oh, the mighty Hiranyaksha. So we can just imagine the size of this demon. He was smoting the gigantic wing-tossed waves again and again with his iron mace. So he was making big, big waves in the ocean with his iron mace. And then he reached Vibhavari, the capital of Varuna. तत्रोपलभ्य लभ्यासुरलोकपालकं यादो गणानां ऋषभं प्रचेतसं स्मयन् प्रलब्धुं प्रणिपत्य नीचवत् जगाद्मे देयधिराज संयुगम्. Vibhavari is the home of Varuna, lord of aquatic creatures and guardian of the lower regions of the universe, where the demons generally reside. There Hiranyaksha fell at Varuna's feet like a low-born man, and to make fun of him, he said with a smile, "Give me battle, O Supreme Lord." The demoniac person always challenges others and tries to occupy others' property by force. Here these symptoms are fully displayed by Hiranyaksha, who begged war from a person who had no desire to fight. He was making fun of Varundev by falling at his lotus feet and saying, "Oh, please, give me fight, give me battle." Tvam lokpalo adhirpatir bhritshrava viryapaho durmad vir maninam vijitya loke akhil daitya danavam yadraj suyan purayajat prabho. You are the guardian of an entire sphere and a ruler of wide fame. Having crushed the might of arrogant and conceited warriors, and having conquered all the Daityas and Danavas in the world, you once performed the Rajya sacrifice to the Lord. So basically, Hiranyaksha is making fun of Varuna, but just reminding him of his capabilities and achievements. स एवम् उत्सिक्त मदेन विद्विषः दृढं प्रलब्धो भगवान् पाम्पतिः रोषं समुत्थं शमयन् स्वया धिया व्यव्योच्चङ्ग शमं गता वयम्. Thus mocked by an enemy whose vanity knew no bounds, the worshipful Lord of the waters, waxed angry. But by dint of his reason, he managed to curb the anger that had sprung up in him. And he replied, "O dear one, we have now desisted from warfare, having grown too old for combat." As we see, warmongering materialists always create fighting without reason. So Varun Dev is saying, he just controlled his anger and he said, "Well, I'm not fighting anymore. I'm too old to fight." पश्यामि नान्यं पुरुषात् पुरातनात् यः संयुगे त्वां रणमार्ग कोविदम् आराध्य यष्यति सुरर्षभेहि तं मनस्विनो यं गृणते भवादृशः. You are so skilled in war that I do not see anyone else but the most ancient person, Lord Vishnu, who can give satisfaction in battle to you. Therefore, chief of the Asuras, approach him, whom even heroes like you mention with praise. Aggressive materialistic warriors are actually punished by the Supreme Lord for their policy of unnecessarily disturbing world peace. Therefore, Varuna advised Hiranyaksha that the right course to satisfy his fighting spirit would be to seek to fight with Vishnu. So basically, Varundev knew that this demon will be killed by Lord Vishnu. So he said, "I'm not a person you should be fighting. I'm too old. I think Lord Vishnu will give you a good fight. He'll give you satisfaction when he fights with you. So you better fight with him." Text 31. Tam Veeram Aradabhipadya Vismaya Shayishyase Veerishe Shvabhir Vritaha Yastvad Satam Prashante Rupani Dhatte Sad Anugrahechya. Varuna continued, "On reaching him, you will be rid of your pride at once and will lie down on the field of battle, surrounded by dogs for eternal sleep. It is in order to exterminate wicked fellows like you and to show his grace to the virtuous that he assumes his various incarnations like Varaha. Asuras do not know that their bodies consist of the five elements of material nature, and that when they fall, they become objects of pastimes for dogs and vultures. Varuna advised Hiranyaksha to meet Vishnu in his boar incarnation so that his hankering for aggressive war would be satisfied and his powerful body would be vanquished. So Varun, they've already told him what is going to happen, but him being a demon, he didn't care. He just wanted a fight. So we'll start chapter 18, the battle between Lord Boar and demon Hiranyaksha. Text number 1. Maitre Vacha Tadev Ma Karnaya Jalesh Bhashitam Mahamanastad Viganya Durmadaha Harer Viditva Gatimanga Naradada Rasatalam Nirvivishe Tvaranvitaha. Maitre continued. The proud and falsely glorious Daitya paid little heed to the words of Varuna. O dear Vidura, he learned from Narad the whereabouts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and hurriedly betook himself to the depths of the ocean. Materialistic warmongers are not even afraid to fight with the mightiest enemy, the Personality of Godhead. The demon was very encouraged to learn from Varuna that there was one fighter who could actually combat him, and he was very enthusiastic to search out the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just to give him a fight, even though it was predicted by Varuna that by fighting with Vishnu he would become prey for dogs, jackals, and vultures. Since demoniac persons are less intelligent, they dare to fight with Vishnu, who is known as Ajita, or one who has never been conquered. But this demon Hiranyaksha, he had so much of power by his austerities, and of course he was a seaman from Kashyap Muni, that he didn't pay any heed. He didn't even care for what Varun they were saying. He's saying, okay, now let me look for this Vishnu and fight with him. He just wanted to fight. Dadash tadrabhijitam dharandharam proniya manav nimagv danshriya Moshrantam Makshana Swarucho Aruna Shriya Jahas Chaho Vanagocharo Mrigaha. He saw there the all-powerful personality of Godhead in his boar incarnation, bearing the earth upward on the ends of his tusks and robbing him of his splendor with his reddish eyes. The demon laughed. Oh, an amphibious beast. So, by this time, Hiranyaksha had already brought earth down to the bottom of Garbhodak Sagar. And to protect Mother Earth, to establish Earth in at its right location, and to kill this demon, the Lord took the form of a gigantic boar, Varahadeva. In a previous chapter, we have discussed the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Varaha, the boar. While Varaha with his tusks engaged in uplifting the submerged earth from the depths of the waters, this great demon Hiranyaksha met him and challenged him, calling him a beast. Of course, he looked like a beast, but he was not a beast. He was the Supreme Lord. Demons cannot understand the incarnations of the Lord. They think that his incarnations as a fish or boar or tortoise are big beasts only. They misunderstand the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even in his human form, and they deride his descent. In the Chaitanya Sampradaya, there is sometimes a demonic misconception about the descent of Nityanand Prabhu. Nityanand Prabhu's body is spiritual, but demonic persons consider the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be material, just like ours. Avajananti Mamulaha. Persons who have no intelligence deride the transcendental form of the Lord as material. So he thought it's just a big, big boar, and he had taken earth on his tusk and going back. And Hiranyaksha just challenged him, "Oh, big amphibious beast, ahन में यज्ञ महिम विमुंचनो रसोकसां विश्व सृजेयम अर्पिता न स्वस्ति यस्य यन्या ममे क्षतः सुराधम आसद इतसुकुरा कृते." The demon addressed the Lord, "O best of the demigods, dressed in the form of a boar, just hear me. This earth is entrusted to us, the inhabitants of the lower regions, and you cannot take it from my presence and not be hurt by me." So he's challenging Lord Varahadev. He's saying, just listen to me. You looks like you're some kind of demigod who are dressed in the form of a boar. This earth belongs to us, and you cannot take it from my presence. Isn't that the similar demonic mentality in all of us? Of course, we cannot take the whole earth down to the Rasatal or the bottom of Garudaka Ocean, but we have a little bitty, very little bitty, very itsy bitsy, tiny, tiny piece of land that maybe we have bought and we register in our name, and basically we challenge the Lord, you cannot take it from me. It is mine. Instead of thinking, this all belongs to the Lord. I'm just a caretaker for certain time, that's all. But everything belongs to the Lord. Sridhar Swami, commenting on this verse, states that although the demon wanted to deride the personality of Godhead in the form of a boar, actually he worshipped him in several words. So the devotees of the Lord, so whatever Hiranyaksha was saying, now Sanskrit, because we don't have too much knowledge of Sanskrit, the devotees, acharyas, they interpret different meaning out of this. So same words, Srila Sridhar Swami says, for example, he addressed him, means Hiranyaksha is addressing Lord Varahadev as Vanagochara, which means one who is a resident of the forest. But another meaning of Vanagochara is one who lies on the water. Vishnu lies on the water, so the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be properly addressed in this way. The demon also addressed him as Mriga, indicating unintentionally that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is sought after by great sages, saintly persons, and transcendentalists. So there is another meaning of Mriga. He also addressed him as Agya. Sridhar Swami says that Gya means knowledge, and there is no knowledge which is unknown to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's why he is rightly called as Agya. Indirectly, therefore, the demon said that the Vishnu knows everything. The demon addressed him as Suradhama. Sura means the demigods, and Adham means Lord of all there is. He is the Lord of all the demigods. Therefore, he is the best of all demigods or God. When the demon used the phrase, in my presence, the implied meaning was, in spite of my presence, you're completely able to take away the earth. Na swasti yasyasi. Unless you kindly take this earth from our custody, there can be no good fortune for us. So acharyas, same words, they understand it differently and they present it differently. And they're saying the Lord understood it this way, that he's not making fun of me. In fact, he's addressing me properly. Tvam na sapatnair bhavai kim bhrito yo mayaya antya suran parokshajita. Tvam yoga maya balam alpa porusham sanstapya mood pramrije surachhucha. Actually, previous verse, when Sridhar Swami interpreted in this way, Actually, once I remember I was giving lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam at ISKCON Delhi, and that was the context of Shishupal and Krishna. When Shishupal was insulting Krishna during the Ratsya sacrifice at the palace of Maharaj Yudhishthir. So I just read that shloka and Prabhupada's purport, and whatever my realizations were at that time, gave the lecture. In the class, somehow, there was one Prabhupada disciple, Mataji, was there. And she was visiting from either America or Canada. And after the class, she approached me and she said, actually the class was in Hindi, and she said, I didn't understand the Hindi and somebody was translating everything to her. So she said, I did hear the translation of the class, and she said, I appreciated your class. But she said, it makes her heart bleed when we hear so many bad things about Krishna, even though it's in Bhagavatam, even though it is Shishupal who is speaking, and he is speaking in wrong way, but it just doesn't leave a good taste in the mouth when some person like Shishupal is speaking. I said, well, Mataji, I had no option but just to repeat the shloka and whatever he said. She said, yeah, but I wish you didn't have to repeat whatever he said. You could have just gone on to Prabhupada's purport. I said, I just followed the tradition, but next time I'll be careful. So here, although Hiranyaksha is saying so many bad things about Krishna, about Lord Varahadev, but Acharyas are making good from those words also. That's because they cannot hear anything bad about the Lord. So, in fact, somehow, this morning I once in a month I have attend this interfaith meeting online. So this morning we had one from somebody representing Islam, somebody representing Christianity, and myself, and one from Jain Parampara from Mumbai. So while there was a list of questions that were given to us 1 or 2 weeks back, and we had sent them our answers. And so today the discussion was whatever we had written, so we had to just present it for everybody's benefit. So somehow that Jain person, when he was speaking, and it was about sins and how to overcome sins. And he mentioned that in our Jain scriptures, it is mentioned that we get liberated once we get to the right consciousness, purify our consciousness, get rid of sinful activity, which was all fine. And he was only talking about liberation, which means they only talk about going to Brahmjyoti. And before that, I had spoken already from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So he said, even Lord Ram got liberation, and that really bugged me. So after his talk was over, I had to tell him, I mean, you can say whatever you from your scriptures, please, but please refrain from talking about Lord Ram like that. Lord Ram is not like a conditioned living entity like me and you. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the moderator was like, okay, Vidupriya Prabhu, we cannot now what to do. But then that Jain guy said, well, I'm just repeating whatever I read from our scriptures. I'm sorry if I offended you. and this and that. But I said, I mean, we can speak about ourselves, no problem. You can talk about me, I have no problem, no issues. But when you talk about Lord Ram like that, no matter what your scriptures say, you got to be careful. That's all. So that's what it is. If we cannot take any insult towards the Lord, so of course we are not going to fight with those persons physically, but at least we should be able to defend the Lord or protect the Lord's honor with the right words, with the right knowledge. So we should be able to do that whenever we get a chance. Text 4. त्वं नः सपत्नैर्भवाय किं भृतो यो मायया हन्ते असुरान् परोक्षजित् त्वां योगमाया बलम् अल्पपौरुषं संस्थाप्य मूढप्रमृजे सुरच्छुचः. You rascal, you have been nourished by our enemies to kill us, and you have killed some demons by remaining invisible. O fool, your power is only mystic, so today I shall enliven my kinsmen by killing you. So this is what Hiranyaksha is telling the Lord. The demon used the word abhavaya, which means for killing. Sridhar Swami comments that this killing means liberating, or in other words, killing the process of continued birth and death. The Lord kills the process of birth and death and keeps himself invisible. The activities of the Lord's internal potency are inconceivable, but by the slight exhibition of this potency, the Lord, by his grace, can deliver one from nescience. Shucha means miseries. The miseries of material existence can be extinguished by the Lord, by his potential energy of internal yogamaya. In the Upanishads, it is stated, Parasya Shaktir Vividheva Shruyate. The Lord is invisible to the eyes of the common man, but his energies act in various ways. When demons are in adversity, they think that God is hiding himself and is working by his mystic potency. They think that if they can find God, they can kill him just by seeing him. Hiranyaksha thought that way, and he challenged the Lord. You have done tremendous harm to our community. Taking the part of the demigods, you have killed our kinsmen in so many ways, always keeping yourself hidden. Now I see you face to face, and I'm not going to let you go. I shall kill you and save my kinsmen from your mystic misdeeds. So this is the propaganda, or this is a plan of all the demons. They know the Lord awards them death, gives them punishment. So their whole program is to kill the Lord so that they can enjoy eternally. They can become immortal and they can enjoy eternally. They don't know there is a way, there is a process to enjoy eternally. Become a devotee of the Lord. Become a servant of the Lord. But this is too much. This is too much insult to their ego, to their pride, to their arrogance. We cannot become servant. We cannot become devotees. So rather they say, we want to enjoy the way we want to, and we would rather kill your Lord and enjoy forever. But it's not going to happen. It never happened before, and it's not going to happen in future at any time. That part, that knowledge, that consciousness is missing from demons' minds. Not only are demons always anxious to kill God and with words and philosophy, but they think that if one is materially powerful, he can kill God with materially fatal weapons. Demons like Kansa, Ravan, and Hiranyakashipu thought themselves powerful enough to kill even God. Demons cannot understand that God, by his multifarious potencies, can work so wonderfully that he can be present everywhere and still remains in his eternal abode, Golok, Vrindavan. And this is what demons do. They try to kill the Lord. And now what they do? Because in Kali Yuga, they have no strength, no powers. So they'll go and break the deities in the temples and they think, oh, we have killed your God. No, you just broke the deity, which is offensive, obviously. And the Lord was there as in the deity, in the form of the deity, in the form of Archa Vigraha. And this really hurts the devotees. But one cannot kill the Lord just by breaking the deity. The Lord leaves the deity form before that deity form gets broken. But the demons who do that, they commit such a severe offense. And for that, they have to suffer for a very, very, very long time. But because of lack of knowledge and lack of proper education, proper upbringing, they don't know that, they don't understand that, and they're just ready to. And I mean, they don't know that they're going to go to hell for a long time, very, very long time. But this is the way it is these days. त्वयि संस्थिते गद्या शीर्ण शीर्षमि अस्मद्भुज अच्युत्या ये च तुभ्यं बलिं हरन्ति ऋषयो ये च देवः स्वयं सर्वे न भविष्यन्ति अमूला. The demon continued, when you fall dead with your skull smashed by the mace hurled by my arms, the demigods and sages who offer you oblations and sacrifice and devotional service will also automatically cease to exist like trees without roots. And this is those brothers, Jay and Vijay, those associates of the Lord, and one has become Hiranyaksha. And see the words he's saying, because he forgot his original position. Demons are very much disturbed when devotees worship the Lord in the prescribed ways recommended in the scriptures. In the Vedic scriptures, the neophyte devotees are advised to engage in 9 kinds of devotional service, such as to hear and chant the holy name of God, to remember him always, to chant on beats, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. To worship the Lord in the form of his deity incarnation in the temples, and to engage in various activities of Krishna consciousness, to increase the number of godly persons for perfect peace in the world. Demons do not like such activity. They are always envious of God and his devotees. Their propaganda, not to worship in the temple or church, but simply to make material advancement for satisfaction of the senses, is always current. The demon Hiranyaksha, upon seeing the Lord face to face, wanted to make a permanent solution by killing the personality of Godhead with his powerful mace. The example of an uprooted tree mentioned here by the demon is very significant. Devotees accept that God is the root of everything. Their example is that just as the stomach is the source of energy of all the limbs of the body, God is the original source of all energy manifested in the material and spiritual worlds. Therefore, as supplying food to the stomach is a process to satisfy all the limbs of the body, Krishna consciousness, or developing love of Krishna, is a sublime method for satisfying the source of all happiness. So Hiranyaksha knew if he kills Lord Varahadev or kills Krishna, then the sages and the demigods and the devotees, they will be helpless because the root will not be there. The demon wants to uproot this source because if the root, God, were to be checked, the activities of the Lord and the devotees would automatically stop. The demon would be very much satisfied by such a situation in society. Demons are always anxious to have a godless society for their sense gratification. According to Sridhar Swami, this verse means that when the demon would be deprived of his mace by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not only the neophyte devotees, but also the ancient, sagacious devotees of the Lord would be very much satisfied. Of course, Sridhar Swami interprets the shloka in a different way, in a way that that is pleasing to the Lord. But what Hiranyaksha was saying, that I want to kill this Lord Vishnu so that all his devotees, sages, demigods, they have become helpless, and then I can rule over and I can win over the whole creation. So here Hiranyaksha wanted to kill the personality of God. So demons tried different ways to kill God. One is to kill the God conscious society or the people who are preaching the message of God. That also basically kills the Lord, because if there is no message, then the future generations would not know anything about God. So that was a propaganda, or that was a program of British Empire. They just wanted to kill the Brahmanical culture, the Brahmins altogether. Mughals wanted to kill them with the sword, and British tried to kill by taking away the knowledge or by putting down the Vedic knowledge and making Brahmins think that we have been in illusion all along. Whatever is the truth, that it is only mentioned in Bible and not in our Vedas. So this had been the program. This is all demoniac programs. But regardless of what a program is, demons cannot win, cannot be victorious. They might win for certain time, but ultimately it has to be Krishna or God who's going to be victorious. So although the Brahminical class was killed in both ways, physically and intellectually, by different rulers. Now, somebody might ask why this happened in India. Why first Mughals came and they ruled over and they killed the Sanatan Vedic society, and then the British came, they killed the Vedic society. Why it happened in India? One place Prabhupada has mentioned, and Mahatma Gandhi also mentioned this way, that if a careless man's property is taken away by a shameless man, who's to be blamed? Means the Brahmins in India, those who are followers of Vedic Sanatan Dharma, they were getting corrupt by themselves because Kali Yuga. So when they were getting corrupt, they were not preaching properly, they were not following the scriptures properly. So it was bound to happen that somebody else would come and take over. But then again the question arises, why take over at such an extent that even the worship is gone? But no, the worship is not gone in the way that it got re-established by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or even before Mahaprabhu, so many other acharyas came. So Mahaprabhu re-established the whole thing, the devotional service. And that was a time, that was when Mahaprabhu was there, that was a time of bhakti movement all over India. in and around that time only, Guru Nanak Dev came, Mirabai came, in different parts of India, and other acharyas. At the same time, they all appeared because it was time for bhakti movement. Mahaprabhu was there, and he was preaching far and wide, and he was establishing the Sankirtan Dharma, Sankirtan Yagya. And then later on, Mahaprabhu's associates, Mahaprabhu's servants, they took over and they propagated. And then lately, Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada's followers, we all are trying to propagate whatever Prabhupada established. So ultimately, it's not the demons who are going to win, it's the devotees or divine people who are going to win. God's name, it cannot be killed. It just can't be. Demons can try as much as they want. This thing cannot be killed. But that doesn't mean we just take it easy and sit back and relax, thinking, oh, Mahaprabhu will take care of it, or other devotees can take care of it. No, it's all our duties. We have to take care. We have to get serious in chanting and reading and other practices, and then we have to give this knowledge to others. This is our duty. This is our only duty, actually, to re-establish dharma, which was lost for whatever reason. So we cannot go back and change that reason. But now we have chance to re-establish. We were talking about Ram Mandir for such a long time, 70 some years, and so many years ago it was broken. See, ultimately Lord Ram won, right? And there's going to be glorious temple for Lord Ram's worship at that place. So Lord Ram does not wait for any court's injunctions or the ruling given by any court. He doesn't need to wait. Only thing he's waiting for, or he was waiting for, that the devotees should be there. Otherwise, what is the point in having a temple if devotees are not there? So the Lord can manifest anywhere, anything, whatever we want, as long as we become devotees. Like yesterday we studied how nature will comply if the population is Krishna conscious. If the population is demoniac, then she sends so many natural calamities. And similarly, if devotees are there, if the population, not even 100%, then if 10% becomes devotees, the Lord will manifest his temples, his scriptures, his personality, his worship in such a magnanimous form. It would be amazing to see. Just like Srila Prabhupada, one devotee, when he was here and he was traveling and he was making devotees, he was establishing temples, he established the whole movement, he was writing books, and so many other things he did. One devotee, one Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada is still here with us, in the form of his books, in the form of his instructions, in the form of his followers. He is still here. So Krishna is manifesting wonderful things through Prabhupada. But Prabhupada is gone. And he will continue to manifest wonderful things. So all we have to do is try to become sincere devotees and help Prabhupada in his mission. His mission is to preach, to give this knowledge to others and let more and more people become devotees. And then Krishna can manifest wonderful things through his devotees. We have seen Russia, when nobody even imagined there could be Vaishnava movement in Russia, in communist Russia. And now the wonderful devotees are there, so many devotees. Somebody, even in many years ago, Maharaj said in Moscow, only in Moscow, the city of Moscow, there are about 5,000 devotees who are chanting 16 rounds every day. And there are many more devotees who are chanting less than 16 rounds. So just imagine the explosion in Moscow. And that was many, many years ago. Now I don't know how many must be there. So similarly, the movement is taking roots in China, in Eastern countries, all over the world, even in Middle East. It's there. The movement is there. It's just not very much known, but one day it will just burst over there as well. So Lord is waiting for us. That's all. He's not dead. No demon can kill him. No way. He's just waiting for us to do our job properly. So he can bring forth many, many other things that we can't even imagine. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhupada, please accept mine. All glories to Prabhupada.
We have been inspired to preach the glories of Krishna, his holy names, and everything about the Lord's pastimes, etc. But in ISKCON, as everybody is a preacher at some level or so, and everybody is inspired to preach, and we are all doing it according to our capacity, in our own ways, like in our circles, wherever we have some influence, we are doing it. But sometimes we are also checked when we are preaching, our preaching activities are checked by some envious demons. So they come and they say they propagate a lot of things like we are trying to convert people to ISKCON, and this is our motive. Whereas we are trying to give them bhakti, which we have benefited a lot from. Our hearts are overflowing with feelings of love and compassion. But that is the reason we try to do it. And sometimes we see this type of people be within our own families, within our own close circles. So why do they do that? Is it a fault in us? Are we doing something wrong that it has given rise to such an impression in the minds of good people? Or we have to conclude that these people are demons only? Because this kind of an accusation is too severe. Like when we have not even thought like that, and we are not even trying to ask them for any donations or anything like that. They have this kind of a feeling that we are trying to convert them, make them ISKCONites, so that we can take away everything from their possession.
See, the demonic tendencies are always there in everybody, in all of us. We have demonic tendencies. So I won't say they are the only demons, and we are not. But this obstacles will always be there. They will always be there. They were obstacles when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. So many problems with Srinivas Thakur's house and this and that. So many devotees had problems. Haridas Thakur was beaten up in 22 marketplaces. There's so many problems with Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. So don't worry about the resistance. Like Prabhupada said, if the resistance is there, means our movement is taking hold. Otherwise, there won't be any resistance. If we were not strong, why would anybody resist, or why would anybody even bother to say anything about ISKCON if ISKCON wasn't strong. So people
True,
will
very
say,
true.
people will keep on saying whatever they want to say. So you remain fixed. So, okay, yeah, we want to convert everybody to ISKCON. What's the problem? I mean, even if, of course, our idea is to transform the heart of people. That's all. But even if somebody says, okay, yeah, I want to convert, what are you going to do? You convert yourself? But at the same time, just like yesterday or day before we were studying, the devotees, any problem happens, they go and take shelter of the Lord.
Yeah.
So yes, problem is there. It gives us more opportunity to take shelter. Okay, Lord, I'm bewildered. I'm helpless. You please take care of me.
Right.
So everything is possible, and demon or the resistance will always be there. Always, even
Yeah.
sometimes from within ISKCON, the resistance will be there.
Right.
We just keep going. That's all.
Yes, bro. I agree with you. Like when people come and accuse you on your face and say such things, it is possible to at least defend or say something so that we can convince them that our idea is not to make followers here. Our idea is to transform hearts. But when such people exist within your circle of influence and they try to do some propaganda against you behind your back, and they try to convince those who have less faith in the process into some other like they deviate, they help those with less faith, they make them deviate from the path. Like somebody was chanting a few rounds, and this type of propaganda has made them stop chanting and probably even attending the classes. They don't come to ISKCON or the devotees who preach there in their locality. They don't go to their classes because they get this feeling that ISKCON is going to brainwash you and take away whatever little you have from you. This type of preaching is going on by some people who are envious. Like when I went to South India recently, one of my brother, he's my cousin brother. He has been planted with such ideas. He was not talking much about ISKCON, but generally about those who are preaching God consciousness. He says God is a lie, so there is no need for God. And all these people who are preaching about God's glories, they are all just trying to brainwash the whole society. So this type of atheistic ideas, although he himself goes to Sai Baba temple and such things. So they also do something religious things, but then they also hold this kind of a thought at the back of their mind, which they don't reveal to anybody. And because he felt close to me, he was telling all this openly.
Um, See, first of all, we have to understand our limitations. Even how many people you think met Prabhupada when Prabhupada was here? Thousands and thousands. How many really took it up seriously? Not, not as many as compared to how many met him, right? Proportion was very few. So even Prabhupada,
Yes.
of course, whoever met Prabhupada, it was his Agyat Sukriti, and maybe few lives later he will take up. That's a different story. But at that time, they didn't become serious. And many people joined and left. Also Prabhupada, when Prabhupada was here. So we cannot
True.
imagine 100% conversion. That's not going to happen. We try to do our duty, and rest is up to Krishna. And even if somebody comes for a few classes, a few days, and then he goes away, we have done our job. That's all. Results are not in our hands.
True.
So now there 1.2
No,
billion people in
I'm not
India.
affected. Sorry.
There are plenty of people in India to preach to. If somebody goes away, it's okay. Okay. Then it also should make us think that maybe there is something lacking in me.
True.
So
That is what I.
that also should make us more strict towards our sadhana. That
True.
yes, I need to do my sadhana better. Then I can help others.
Right. Yeah, these things don't affect you much because I know that there's so many opportunities for preaching. So if a few people go away, it doesn't matter because they are probably not fully knowledgeable. So they took some uninformed decisions. So that's okay. But these propaganda sometimes take a very serious the propaganda against ISKCON sometimes takes very serious proportions. Once recently, one person was calling me, "You are like an ISIS terrorist. You people are like ISIS. You are Islamic terrorists. They call Allah is the supreme. You call Krishna is the supreme. What is the difference between you and them?" So this type of propaganda they do. Although we don't resort to violence like the Islamic terrorists at any time. Devotees have been preaching very peacefully and been doing so much of seva for the public. Like recently, also like yesterday, Pramod Mohanty Prabhu shared one beautiful video on Food for Life kitchen in Mumbai. It was
Mhm.
some amazing, amazing video. It was so many facts and figures and pictures have been shared in that video. So anybody who looks at it will know what kind of scale we are talking about in serving this society. So still, people having looked at all this, they appreciate. Okay, ISKCON is doing a great job in the society worldwide. But then again, they speak like this. Which ISKCON Islam organization is engaged in food for life or providing food for the general public? They don't give anything to anybody who is not an Islam follower. So this sometimes
Okay, I mean that's okay. We will hear. Just get ready to hear more. I mean there'll be all kinds of people. You cannot stop them. There'll be all kinds of people.
and still they claim themselves to be like if they're talking so much negative about something, and especially what they are opposed to is they are not opposed to a particular person, but when we gather together as devotees and they see that we are getting strong, that is when they start these kind of accusations. So which is in a way, as you said, if we are not strong, then there will be no opposition, and if some such opposition is coming, that means we are actually doing some preaching. So which is right.
Yep.
I'm happy that we are getting such resistance, which means that we are doing our preaching properly. But sometimes it also stalls our activities of preaching. Like when the demons or when such people succeed in breaking away a part of our institution or a family member of ours.
That's okay. We still keep going.
Okay,
See,
Prabhu. Thank you.
just like when we are doing any service, and if people complain, means we are doing something. That's why they complain. If you're not doing anything, they won't be complaining. I mean, just give an example. Also, it's a mundane example. Prime Minister Modi, because he is doing so many things, so many people are complaining. Manmohan Singh didn't do anything, so nobody complained that time. There was no
Absolutely,
complaint.
absolutely. Yeah, the kind of opposition we see for Mr. Modi is phenomenal. But we are
Because
also seeing,
his achievements are phenomenal.
yeah, absolutely. So many demoniac people in this country.
They are all over. This is Kali Yuga. That's the beauty of Kali Yuga. So anyway, we can. Any other questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I want to ask one question and I want to understand. What does preaching means? Is it preaching to others or preaching to ourselves first? If I say that, if I say to my children that you don't fight with others, you don't use bad words to others. So of course my children will, look at me that of course my mother should never, should never use such words, so that I should also not use such words. So of course, in terms of preaching, what happens is when we try to preach others, they start, look those qualities in ours, in preacher. So because that preacher is saying that you believe in me, you do these things, and the transformation will happen. So the student will think that of course my teacher is already having these qualities. So that is why that my teacher is saying what, then I should follow my teacher. But what happens when the circumstances comes and your teacher also shows these qualities, like, he is not tolerant, or he, she, whatever, he is not forgiving. My mother, like my children will say, Mama, you are always saying you should be forgiving, you should be tolerant, but you yourself is not. Then where's the preaching gone? Then what I think is, preaching is, don't you think we should preach to ourselves first? First we should, cultivate these qualities in ourselves, then we start, telling all these to others, because people will start looking these qualities, will find these qualities in you. Don't you think so?
Well, then we'll not have any preacher. See, preaching is part of bhakti yoga. So when we are practicing, so maybe I'm in second grade, maybe I'm in second grade, and I'm preaching to the students of first grade. But that doesn't mean I'm perfect. I'm still have to go to maybe PhD level or some postgraduate level. So preacher might not be perfect. Of course, your point is right. We have to preach to ourselves. So we have to come to higher standards, no doubt. But preacher, like Prabhupada always said, preacher might not be perfect, but he is preaching from perfect resources. Prabhupada is perfect. Prabhupada's teachings are perfect. So maybe if I'm preaching that one should be tolerant and I'm not tolerant myself, but that should not stop anybody else from becoming tolerant.
True.
Because Prabhupada is perfect. I'm preaching from Prabhupada. I don't have any knowledge or I don't have any qualities. I don't. Well, hopefully by preaching, I will also make some advance.
Yeah, but what happens is, in the name of preaching, when we preach others, circumstances come, we don't see our faults, but we punish others. This is what happens in the name of preaching. And I'm not just saying, I have experienced it. That is why I'm saying that we try to preach, but the circumstances come, we fall, we don't see our faults, but we punish others, and we try to see faults in others. This is what happens. So the conclusion, the conclusion which I have, this is my conclusion, that preaching should be done to ourselves first. First, at least we cultivate these things, then only we should try to say these things to others, that okay, these quality, I have followed this path, this is what the transformation has happened within me. Now you can also follow, and you will also experience the same thing. Then I'm sure people will look at you and people will follow you, and whatever you will say, they will. Otherwise what happens is, people definitely initially people will follow you, but when circumstances will come, they will see that you yourself is not cultivating this thing, they will run away. This is what happened. Initially people will follow you, 100 people, 1000 people, but then people see that you yourself is not cultivating, you don't have these qualities in yourself, And when situation comes, you also behaving like the others who doesn't have knowledge, then there is no, there is no difference between you and them. Then people will run away. So
No. See, then there will be only one preacher, that is Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is the only perfect person that I know of. That doesn't mean, that doesn't stop me from following Prabhupada or Prabhupada's followers. Well, ultimately, I have to see Prabhupada's example. Everybody else has faults. And they will have faults. We all have faults. So I don't think there can be anybody who's perfect and then he can preach. Because we all are struggling. We all are doing, not even doing, struggling to do our sadhana bhakti. So then it will not lead us anywhere. Yes, we have faults. We have shortcomings.
Prabhuji,
What to do?
Prabhuji, if you allow
Yes.
me, can I share my experience on this?
Yes, sure.
Is it not that we have to follow? It is not like following a preacher who is just trying to follow a positive light, that is Krishna or Srila Prabhupada. So we have to follow them actually, right? So it is always mentioned in recent quotes I will forward in the group. It was mentioned that we have to follow Krishna, right? So if we will get deviated from the preachers who is not fit, who is fit in this world, na? So if we will get deviated because this preacher is not right, then this whole path is wrong. That is a wrong approach actually. We should ourselves look into the books. We should ourselves look into the principles, higher Gurudevs and other big devotees who are doing it. They are doing it in a right way. They are doing it the best way they can do. So it is not like that small preacher like me also having a lot of fault. Why I'm saying is this, because whenever I try to convince people to do chanting and all, I tell them, don't uh, don't judge me for this, that how I am, because I am full of faults. I'm just trying to improve, and I know that this is the right way to improve. So if you will follow them, you will reach somewhere, but if you will follow me, you will not reach anywhere, because I am full of fault. So this we should not always think that the teacher is right or wrong. We should think that who is the higher preachers, Srila Prabhupada, the Gurudevs, Guru Mataji, they all are doing the right thing. They are teaching, the books are teaching us right thing. So we should follow them, right?
Yeah, it's simple as that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. And Prabhuji, to add on to that, in fact, there are two things that, if you allow me, let me also say. I think in one of your conversations when you were here in Delhi and we used to attend a class at ISKCON, I think very initial days you had said that we should ideally go and give Krishna's message, and that's what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, without even expecting that that person will change or no. It is up to Krishna. In fact, whatever Sukriti he or she will get, they will kind of follow. If they don't follow, then we should move on. And then the mundane example also, in fact, in our schools as well, not the teachers, all the teachers are Einsteins or Newtons, but still they're teaching the philosophy to us and we understand and we want to make material progress. And they don't expect everybody to be a topmost student. Still, in fact, everybody is there in the class and try to learn. And it's the duty to kind of deliver the lecture they go. Now, of course, that's a mundane example. Similarly, in fact, I think it's up to us. So whosoever is lucky will kind of follow the instruction, join, and then enjoy the blissful life. Mahaprasad, early morning lectures. Whosoever is not so lucky, of course, in fact, we have the opportunity to kind of continue with the work. Hope I have not heard.
And also, if suppose it happened with me also when I joined, the person who preached to me later had problems and he was kicked out of the temple. Then I stopped going to the temple. And one day, another devotee called me. He said, I haven't seen you for a long time. Then I told him that I have few questions. He said, come on over. I just went to his house and I spoke to him and I said, this guy had problems. He fell down, and then how should I have faith in the movement? He said, why you have to look at that guy's example, that devotee's example? Look at the example of Prabhupada. Look at the example of Tamal Krish Maharaj. Why you have to look at that example? I said, yeah, makes sense. He said, we all are fallible. Who's not fallible here? We all are. Only person who's not fallible is Prabhupada. And of course Krishna, but Prabhupada. So just follow Prabhupada. And the thing is, it was my fault that I have put that devotee on such a high pedestal. Oh, he also never told me he is a pure devotee. He never said that. It was my fault that I put him on a pedestal higher than where he was supposed to be at. And then there were some problems with him. Of course, he came back and is a wonderful devotee. I'm not saying that. That's why I'm not going to take his name. But it was my fault that I put him on such a pedestal. He never said that. So the point is, we should not get discouraged or distracted by these incidents. Any incident can happen with anybody. Always look at the example of Prabhupada and Prabhupada's looks. That's all.
But Prabhuji, then how does then this Guru and Shishya Parampara, comes then? If you, of course, you see your Guru, if you are, following your Guru, you cannot say that, okay, my Guru is not that up to the mark. I will not follow him. I will follow, the highest. These things, Prabhu ki kripa ke bina
then we are talking Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, Path Pradarshak Guru. That's again a huge topic of discussion. So right now, since you haven't taken Diksha yet, so I will just say Shiksha Guru is good enough, but Shiksha Gurus can be many. And Diksha Guru is also, yes, you take Diksha from whoever you want to, but still Shiksha is important. It's not like after Diksha, all of the Shiksha Gurus are going to just be wiped out. No, Shiksha Gurus are important. Diksha Guru is important. I'm not denying that. But Shiksha Gurus are important. And Prabhupada is our prominent Shiksha Guru, most prominent Shiksha Guru. So that discussion is again a huge discussion that can take place some other time. Shiksha and Diksha Gurus.
No problem, Prabhuji.
Okay. So thank you all very much. Today we had a wonderful discussion. So you all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.